All right. Welcome, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome. Yeah, we've got Bot Games Weekly Wrap Up Week 1. Thanks so much for joining.
This is
Uh,
so cool. We're so glad to see everyone already commenting on the chats.
yeah, this is great. We've got a lot of participation. If you want to chat with us, join the LinkedIn Live that we're doing. This is also on Dev Portal. This is also on a couple other places. So we're watching all of those for the chats. But if you want to join the LinkedIn, you can join us there, and we will. Mute myself. So I want to get started with what we're going to be getting into this week. So let's jump to this slide here. If we can go to our split screen. So first off, we want to talk about the challenge page. I know that was a big deal for a lot of people this week. We'll talk about some of the tricks, tips, lessons learned. I'll talk about some of the Easter eggs that we put in there to make it a little bit more challenging and to try to trip you guys up a little bit. And we'll talk about why we did that and how that works. We'll also talk about some of the non-challenge page content from this week. So we want to look at, some of the other stuff that came out. We had some community articles that went out. We also had a tutorial, so we'll talk about that. We'll also do some shout outs. This is a big deal for us, especially with bot games. We're going to be shouting out all the people who had the kind of interesting awards in the theme of the Olympics. We're going to be giving out our gold medals for the people who had interesting solutions to the challenge page or interesting takes on it. And then we'll do a little bit of a week 2 preview and obviously get to as many comments as we can through the chat. Sound good?
Yeah,
Laura, you
let's
ready to go?
go. Yeah, let's
All
go.
right.
Let's go. We stay tuned on all the LinkedIn posts. There were so many. We're so happy to see all you guys trying different styles and things. And yeah, let's take a look at what this week was.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I know that we both tried to comment, same with Arjun, tried to comment on as many of these posts as we could. So if we didn't comment on yours, we'll try to get to it still. But this was our week 1 challenge, and it was all about the customer onboarding experience. And you download that CSV, you fill out the form, and you see what kind of time you can get. And it turned out many of you were very, very competitive, which is cool to see. It was awesome to see, especially people who are doing one solution and then they come back with another one that was a little bit faster. So as far as some tips on this one, Laura, what are your tips that you would say if someone's going to try to solve this one fast?
For solving this one fast, I mean, I have watched the resolution video already on YouTube. So, how can I say it? There's a few different ways you can do it. And I think the first one, like copying the link to download the file directly, is a very big first step that we usually don't think of that right away. But if that's available for you in a process, definitely try and do that because it gets reliable and faster. So that's definitely a tip that I would do.
Yeah, that's good. And yeah, I mean, so let's be honest. The secret behind all of this is that we want people to be trying out different actions and different packages that they haven't used before. And she mentioned a great one there, which is the browser download file action, right? You can download a file and you don't even have to have the web page open, which is insanely cool, right? As long as you have the link for it, you can download that file. So if you haven't used that action before, try that one out. Same with the recorder and keystrokes, right? Those are kind of the best to use for normal processing if you want to get a pretty good time. For those that were getting the insane mode times, right? The people who are getting the sub 1 second or even sub 5 seconds, there is a action in the browser package called run JavaScript. And you can use that one to automate the page. Now, a couple tips with that. With the run JavaScript action, you cannot actually map variables into the input there. So the way that you work around that is you basically write your JavaScript file out using the log to file action. And you write your JavaScript out, you include all your variables there, and then you just execute that same file immediately after. So that's the way that I was getting some of my fastest times. That's an approach to this. And then there's even some more where people are using the web automation package to do this. So lots of different cool ways to solve this problem.
Yeah, and I must say I really like JavaScript. And if you know how to write JavaScript code, you can definitely do it. You can use it. But if you don't, there's many other ways you can do with actions from the platform. You just drag and drop, and you can also complete the challenge very fast.
Yeah, yeah, great point. If you're the in-between, right, and you aren't a JavaScript expert, but you still want to go really fast on this, take a look at the tutorial we just posted on the dev portal today.
Yes.
That is all about the web automation package. Arjun does a great job of explaining how to use the different actions within that package to solve this exact same problem. And so he goes over how to do the click, how to launch the browser, how to start a session, how to fill a field, how to do the dropdowns, right? Use that, and he shows you exactly how to do it without really having to know JavaScript. So that's a great way that you can get it done, even if you're not necessarily super comfortable with JavaScript.
Yeah, I mean, get started and try it out, because at some point you need to try something out. You're not going to know everything, so definitely try it and keep the comments coming. We saw them. We are still looking at them, so definitely super fun to see all your experiences.
Yeah, what tips did we miss? Put that in the comments. If there's a tip that you guys think we should cover that we did not touch on, definitely let us know and we'll shout that out. The tricks for this one. So I think Gabe had mentioned a while ago, we were doing some Easter eggs in some of these. So the trick for this one is that one of the zip codes actually starts with a 0. And we saw some people who had scores of like, I think it was like 98.75. That was because they missed that 0 on the zip code. And that is a valid zip code. I think it was from Connecticut that I found that. But you want to make sure that you're aware of that as you're processing that CSV. So if you read that in Excel, you could run into a situation where you were not able to read that correctly based on how you had configured the Excel action. If you did it through the CSV actions, right, the read CSV, then you would have been fine because it's reading everything as literal text. So that's kind of the one trick or gotcha here. It didn't trip a ton of people up because I think people were using the CSV actions, but some people would get tripped up on that. The other thing is Easter egg. The Cable Co. is an homage to The Cable Guy. I don't know if you saw that movie with Jim Carrey.
I did,
so that
and
really well.
I don't think so. I'm so sorry. I didn't get the reference, but I'll definitely have to check it out.
Actually, I wouldn't have either. I just wanted to have something that was like kind of funny if someone would notice that.
Well, but now I have homework to do. I have a movie to watch.
Yeah, you got to watch that movie. Lessons learned on this one. So number one is that speed does well on social, but accuracy does number one for your goal, right? And accuracy pays the bills, but speed gets you the likes. So make sure that when you're going through this, you don't want to go so fast that the page can't even keep up with you. I know some people ran into that. And that's true of like real automations, right? As much as this is a fun challenge to do, the real goal with this is so that you're learning new ways that you can tackle problems within your organization. And if you're just going blazing fast, but the application you're using can't keep up, you haven't really done yourself a favor. So, make sure that, it's great to know how to do this in JavaScript or how to do this in the web automation package, but don't go so fast that the application itself can't keep up.
Yeah, this is a very super important point, because when you're working with a real client and you need to access their system, it might not be as fast as your bot. Your bot can go super fast, don't get me wrong, but sometimes the system is not that fast and the application may crash. So accuracy is, I think, the number one goal, really.
The other point with that is if you're going to be the guy or girl who is on point for support on a Saturday night, you don't want to get the call that like, hey, your bot screwed up again because it went too fast. So keep that in mind as you're deciding how fast your bot should really go.
Yes, definitely.
The last thing I want to bring up is share and learn from the community. This was one of the coolest things we saw all week, which was people posting, hey, I got a time that was X, and this is how I did it, right? And they actually shared how they solved that. And that was awesome to see, because the real thing with this is that we want to continue to build in the developer community for Automation Anywhere developers. And so this is a really cool way to learn. Like, a lot of people had never used the run JavaScript action. Now people are starting to look at that and starting to understand how it can be used because they saw other people doing it. So, definitely be a contributor to that. Be a positive that, hey, I'm going to share how I did this. Even if I don't think mine is that creative, go ahead and share it. Someone will learn from it, and that's how you be a part of a community like that.
Yeah, because sometimes you may have a friend that has done something in a different way that you might have not think about. And you can be like, oh wait, I didn't stop to think that I could do this way. And when you tie in with the rest of your bot and the rest of your process, it can really like help you in some way depending on what the process does. So definitely reach out to a friend, send them how you did it, send a screenshot, because it really is super cool when you can get more people involved and share how you did it.
Absolutely. All right. So the other things I want to talk about for this week were the non-challenge page stuff, and mainly calling this out so that if you missed it, you make an effort to go back and check this out. The first was the community content. So every week during the month of August, we're going to have community contributors who are submitting articles and tutorials and blog posts on our dev portal. This week's article was from A-lister Tirtha. And he had written a tutorial on moving bots from one control room to another. So this is a thing that comes up quite a bit for developers, right? Hey, I've built my bot. It's working in the dev environment. Now I need to move it to test, and then I need to move it to production, right? And how do I make sure that as I move it from environment to environment, I can get it there, but then my bot's still going to work? And so the tutorial covers two modes, right? One is the manual mode, exporting that bot manually and then doing an import. And that's, again, using the control room. The other method is the automated mode, and he goes over how to use the control room API and the different endpoints there to export and import your bot. He shows how to do it in Postman, so it's something that everyone can do without actually having to like develop an application. But definitely check that article out if you want to learn more about how bot lifecycle management works in Automation 360.
Yeah, definitely, because working with APIs and endpoints is something that you should know if you don't yet, because anytime you get the chance to do something via an API, definitely do it because it's faster and reliable. And moving bots from the environment, from the production through an API is super cool and super fast. So if you can make our lives easier with automation, definitely let's do it.
Yeah, for sure. Laura, do you want to talk about this one?
Okay, let's go. So
you this is sorry.
Oh yeah.
The bot store package web automation package, right? What do you know about this? Have you used it?
Yes, I've used it a little bit, and I mean, it's, as we said, it can get super fast. It can help you to select buttons and items and objects using JS, which is JavaScript. You can use jQuery, and it's really cool that you can open a session and you can have like tons of functions in there, and you can call them whenever you need them. Like, so you have this session, you can get the functions in there, you call them and you use them. So it is a super cool way to automate your bots. As I said, I am very fond of JavaScript, and I want to learn more about it because like there's always new stuff that we can learn. And I highly, highly recommend for you guys to check the web automation package. We have videos of it on our YouTube channel, so definitely Automation Anywhere. On YouTube, there's tons of tutorials. One of them includes the web automation package. And that way you can get your bot going faster where it needs to. Definitely add some delays in between, because as we mentioned, the bot can get super fast, but you want the system to go together with the bot, like hand in hand. So keep that in mind. And yeah, I mean, definitely check it out. And I think now we can take a look at some of the times that we got, right? Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a very cool slide that we have up here, and there's definitely much more posts that we couldn't fit in here because there's so many of you that completed the challenge, tagged your friends. You guys mentioned how you did a few things, and what I really liked to see, I really enjoyed seeing, is how you guys improved your time. So you did your first test run, you saw how the seconds you got, and then most of you went back and changed something and you got a faster time. So now you know that you can tweak the things in your bot to get a different time or do things in a different way. Sometimes you might say, hey, I know I can do this in the X way, but I want to do it the Y way because in the, let's say, in the end of my process, that makes more sense for my specific process. So try things out different ways. And these were a few of the people that were pioneers, script-free, most improved, and page breakers. So
absolutely. So everyone we're shouting out right here, you're getting swag. Our social team is going to be reaching out to you. You're going to be getting the swag pack. Pioneers, that was
you're
cool.
getting swag.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Free swag. It's a special bot game shirt. You'll also be getting a laptop sticker, and that'll all be shipped to you. So look out for a message from the social team if you're one of the people on this slide. Pioneers, I think Santosh was the very first person I saw complete this challenge.
Yeah.
Be checking for that more specifically next week. But shout out to Santosh for getting that done. Being the first one means that you don't have the benefit of seeing all these other people who have done it way fast or the tips that they've done. So, you know, when you're solving these, try and solve it for yourself first before you look to see how the community is doing it.
Definitely.
The next category was script-free problem solvers. So that was Wilson and Mangesh. Shout out to Wilson and Mangesh for solving this without using the JavaScript action. I did put an asterisk by Wilson's, and that's just to give him a hard time that his is a PEB or a package enhanced bot. So Wilson used the web automation package that we just talked about. So that does require you to download the package from Bot Store. It is totally free, so you can do that. But as of this recording or as of this time right now, that package is not available for Community Edition members. So anyway, Wilson, great job on figuring that out. Wilson actually submitted a tutorial that we're going to share with everyone else on how to solve this like 3 different ways. We're going to be sharing that next week. So again, Wilson, thanks for that tutorial. Wilson had a lot of creative thoughts in the way that they were solving that. So Wilson from RPath Automation, great work. Most improved. This went to Jesse. Yeah. So we saw Jesse post, I think, at least 3 times, right? I think her first time was like a pretty, like a 55-second time. And then she went down to like 20. And then I think she finally got sub 3.
Yeah, I think I even have her comment here where I screenshotted it where she says that she lowered her time a little bit. Don't know if you guys can see, but this is awesome. Super cool because as we said, you're not going to be, you're not born learning everything, knowing everything. So you need to learn, and definitely Jess definitely improved her time, and we saw that she went ahead and tried it in a different way. So that was really, really cool to see. Yeah.
And I think Jessie actually just got her certification this week as well. So that's a huge week. That's a lot to do in 1 week.
Yeah.
Finally, we'll talk about the page breakers. And the page breakers actually caused me to have to rewrite some of the logic for the way we were capturing time. I was only going down to 100th of a second, and it was then defaulting to like a 0.00 time. So I rewrote it. We went down to 1,000th of a second or a millisecond. And they still got 0.00 times, but it was at least more accurate that way. So Harsh, Paul, Deirdre, and Anand, thanks so much for submitting your times. You guys crushed it. Great work on doing that. And I'll also say that I think all of these individuals also shared some information about how they did it, which I think is the most important thing to call out here, right? Like genuine developer community and help is what we're really shooting for this week, or this entire month, actually. So, you know, do something cool, but also share it with other people so they can do something cool. It doesn't make your accomplishment less impressive for you to share it with other people. And if people replicate it and do the same thing, hey, that's great. They're copying off the best, right? So definitely share that kind of stuff. I think Deirdre shared a solution, and then Paul like took it a little bit further. So that was cool to see that like we're improving on community solutions as well. Yeah,
I would highly recommend for you guys that are watching right now, for next week, grab a friend and let's say, hey, let's do it together. Let's see what we can accomplish. Maybe you're doing something in a different way, and share that with your friends, share with your circle, because it really is super fun to do it together with more people. So amazing, super good to see.
All right, Lara, you want to shout out some of the people for certifications this week?
Certifications, guys. I usually see the certifications on my LinkedIn feed, and I always try to comment and give it a shout out, but here we are doing it live. So we have some people that, this is just a few of you. We know that there's more. And here's the congrats on your new certifications. We have Sejal from PwC, and apologizes if I mispronounce something. If you're in the chat, please let me know how to correctly pronounce your names. And Jameline from Infosys, Nicolas from Buenos Aires, Attaway, Sayanti from Zensar Technologies. These were the advanced RPA professional certifications. And we even have some master RPA professional certifications. Those came from Sujar from Infosystems, Hirakam from Finance Global, and Ruchi from Intel Official. Yeah, sorry if I botched any names. Let me know in the chat how to correctly pronounce them. But the point is, super congrats for you guys to getting those certifications. Keep learning, keep studying. You guys know where to go. Automation Anywhere University. There are courses there. They're free. You can learn and you can get your certifications done. So congrats.
Yeah, and Ruchi, I know for sure completed the RPA challenge for this week as well too. So that's awesome to see
congrats.
people. Yeah, doing a 2-for-1. So great job on that. We try to recognize those people who are doing their certifications at least on LinkedIn. We try to comment, like, stuff like that. But because you did it this week during bot games, we will make a special shout out to you. If you don't have your certification, like Laura said, head to Automation Anywhere University. There are free courses there that are available. You can get started. You can prep for that certification, and then you can get it. And definitely tag Automation Anywhere. Let us know.
Yeah.
We want to celebrate with you. It's great to have that. It's great to have it on your LinkedIn profile. It's great for future jobs and things like that as well.
Yeah, it is super important. You're going to learn. Maybe there's like an action that you don't usually use. When you go through a course, you're going to see them, and maybe you can get a second look and see things in a way that you didn't think of before. So highly recommend.
Very cool. So 2 things left. One, I want to talk about a week 2 preview. And this is, I made that blurry on purpose. So this isn't like a bad load. Your connection's still fine. New challenge is being released on 8/9. So that's Monday. This will be the supply chain challenge. And this one is not going to be quite as fast of times as we saw for week 1 because we're asking you to do more. So we're going to release that one on Monday at 10 a.m. IST. So you'll be able to get your hands on that and try it out. Next week, we also have a community tutorial for the Windows package best practices. So we'll be having that. We also have that tutorial from Wilson about some of the approaches for completing the week 1 or customer onboarding challenge. And then we also have our live help, which we'll be doing on Wednesday. We'll have a week 2 solution. So just like we did this past week, we have a solution tutorial that shows like the normal, like mentally healthy way to solve these kind of problems for people who are not trying to just break speed records. And so we'll have another one of those solutions. We'll also be back with another bot store tutorial, this time focusing on the JSON object manager. And this will allow you to basically parse the responses from REST web service calls or local JSON files that you have. And then Laura and I will be back with yet another live stream. So we'll be doing this again. If you have questions or you want to bring comments or things you want us to discuss, definitely show up next week. We'll be doing this at the exact same time next week. Finally, Laura, let's talk about some of the comments we saw this week, things that were going on.
Yes, I want to say Windows package best practices. That was a mouthful. Try saying that 3 times fast.
I butchered it. Yeah, and I think we actually changed the title of that article, so don't even worry about that part.
Yeah, this is like the RPA tongue twister. So here are some comments. As we said, there were tons of comments, but here's something that you can find if you search for hashtag bot games or hashtag RP August. You can find those posts and comments, and you can interact and join the conversation. So see people congratulating each other, saying nice one, there you go, amazing. We see people getting inspired, which for me is like the coolest thing. People are inspired that they see their colleagues and their friends completing the challenges, getting interesting times, and sharing the way they did it. So search for hashtag bot games, hashtag RP August, and you can find those and join the conversation. This is super cool, super cool.
Great. Absolutely. I can't agree with that more. So swag stuff, right? our social team is going to be looking to give out swag over the next couple weeks through the entire month of August. This is how you get it. You share how you did your challenge, right? You share your little success message or your modal that shows up. You tag 3 other developers, you challenge them to complete it, and you be active on social, right? Be one of the people who are actively sharing how you did it. Help other people, give them tips, comment on theirs, like it, right? That's the kind of stuff that they're going to be looking for. They're going to be handing out swag packs. It's going to be a t-shirt. It's going to be a laptop sticker. You can't buy this kind of stuff, right? So this is a cool way that you can earn something and, you know, brag to fellow developers that you got this. So Laura, any last tips before we drop off here?
Yes. I just want to say that this is a very cool opportunity for you guys to reach out and make connections with other fellow RPA developers. Because sometimes you might get stuck with some development. You might have a logic that you're trying to figure out, and maybe you might need a second look. And this is the time to make connections and get that, you know, that chain of RPA developers that if you need help, you know, you can reach out, you know, you have someone that you can talk about that understands and know how RPA works, knows the web automation package, knows whatever action it is. And it's time for connections, you know, reach out, comment, post, tag us, feel free to leave comments everywhere, anywhere. So this is the community feel. I think it's one of the coolest things that we can take away. It is fast, it is accurate, and you can make connections, reach out, enjoy the conversation.
Very cool. All right. We will see you guys next week. Again, Monday, RPA Bot Wars Challenge, week 2, supply chain. Super excited for that. Thanks everyone for joining. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.